Hey, Chris Liepe here. Inpatient with Chris Webby. Ren. I was highly anticipating this collab.
I took my possession down the road. All that I own down the road. Set out at nighttime down the road. Down the road. Down the road. And with God is my witness down the road. There stood a man down the road. Dressed in the shadows down the road. With blood on his face down the road. There was something so familiar about him. A certain kind of aura pouring all around him.
Oh, man. Okay. We switched gears a little bit there with his phrasing. This is a good time to go back if there is a good time. We have so much to talk about. This is soul, church. And the way that Ren's using his voice is so interesting and one of my favorite styles to listen to, sing, and teach. Let's go back.
I took my...
So, in order to really understand this style, we have to listen for the vulnerabilities in the sound, not the aggression. There is aggression, but it's far more desperate and based off of sighing than it's not that, it's and we hear that with the very first little chirp that happens out of Ren's voice. Listen. I took, right? Then listen to took.
I took my...
Took. That one does have a bit of but we have this going on.
I took my...
And then he smooths it out. I took my... Right? We have a head voicey, chirpy thing. And then we have this sort of sigh into more aggressive grit. I'll break down these techniques in a second. And then he smooths it out. Okay, and then possessions. Throughout this passage, and he does this a lot, but it's coupled with this style, with this grit and this compression and this sigh sort of thing happening. He goes into head voice at the end of notes with his vibrato.
I took my possession down the road. All that I own.
All that I hold. Again, that head voice entrance, sighing into the note.
Possession down the road. All that I own.
All that I own. You hear the desperation in there, the vulnerability. Again, this distortion is coming about by a sigh. Oh, that's also why it's so broken up. All these things are so closely related, and it's really fun to play with your voice in these ways. To discover other things that it can do. And if you'd like more help doing that, playing with your voice, finding new possibilities with it, new ways you can express and connect with it, click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course. I'll help you do things with your voice you never thought you could.
Possession down the road. All that I own down the road. Set out at nighttime.
Now, this is not set out at nighttime. Set out. Let's make this more desperate. What we're going to do is we're going to hold a note. Set out at night. Let's do that note first. I'm bringing that forward and I'm belting that note. Now, I'm going to sort of insert a sigh on the note. And it's going to bring the sensation of it from forward to back. And we hear this sort of fry thing happening. We also hear rasp. My voice is going in and out of its vocal break. Set out at nighttime. Oh, you hear that rasp? You also hear this extreme volatility.
Down the road. Set out at nighttime.
Set out at nighttime. an exaggeration of what he's doing, but that's where it's coming from. I set out at night time. Then he even breaks a little bit into his head voice vibrato there.
Down the road. Set out at night time. Down the road.
No, he doesn't. Night time. He breaks on night time.
Down the road. Set out at night time.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Ugh.
And with God is my witness.
Yes, let's go over that.
And with God is my witness.
Okay, now listen to and when and God. They're two different kinds of distortions.
And with.
This is a compression-based grit where we're adding false chord engagement and it's a much more, you have really good chord closure on your primary chords. And it's hotter, grittier, less fallen apart. When he goes up to God, it's a totally different thing.
Down the road. And with God is my witness.
He cleans it up with witness. Okay, let's get to God.
And with God is my witness.
I don't even really hear much of a pitch there.
And with God is my witness.
I'm going to say, God, yeah. I'm going to name that pitch. And so he's capable of hitting that note. And with God is my witness, clean. What's happening, though, is he is imposing his vocal break where it doesn't necessarily need to be. He's pushing it sounds like he's pushing his voice to his limit, right? He's pushing up to a break. It's an artificial ceiling, though, imposed by his posture. His that volatile, vulnerable posture that I'm talking about.
And with God is my witness.
And with God. So I'm sort of thinking God. I'm thinking that note. And with, I'm going to compress into there. And with God is my witness. And then I add the compression to as my witness afterward.
And with God is my witness.
It's so abandoned. And with God is my witness. He's a bit more smile there.
And with God is my witness.
And you even hear the little chirp after on is, I think.
And with God is my witness.
Sorry. And with God as, right? As my witness. And with God is my witness. There's these head voice things peeking in the midst of this, just abandon into that scream. Oh, so cool.
And with God is my witness. There stood a man.
There stood a man. I like his agility there too. It's, again, so soulful.
Dressed in the shadows. With blood on his hands. That
side phrasing. And then that sigh in using the H hands.
There was something so familiar about it. A certain kind of aura pouring all around him. Looking fresh to death, his suit, it was astounding.
I like how he's taking this like faster sort of rap phrase and marrying it with the soul singing.
Familiar about it. A certain kind of aura pouring all around him. Looking fresh to death, his suit, it was astounding.
I like how he threw his voice into that scream there on Astounded.
I caught his eye and then I felt like I was drowning.
And can we just say something about the choir thing going on?
All around him. Looking fresh to death, his suit, it was astounding. I caught his eye and then I felt like I was drowning.
Webby. I am stopping this one a lot. I make no apologies because I am so into all these vocal textures.
I'm so familiar about it. A certain kind of aura pouring all around him.
So some of those sound like Ren, and some of them sound like maybe pitched Ren. Maybe it's other people. Maybe a combination of both. And I don't mean pitch corrected Ren. I know there's lots of. It's so tight, right? It sounds like some of it maybe was double tracked, but some of it was maybe you're taking like a vocal harmonizer or something and putting.
There was something so familiar about it. A certain kind of aura pouring all around it. Looking fresh to death, his suit, it was astounding.
Yeah, the formant on some of those higher voices sounds again like it was sung at one pitch and then maybe transposed up.
And then I felt like I was drowning. Down the road. Standing at a crossroad and the dull glow of the lit bowl flicker silently, quietly tiptoed down a long road, and the man spoke to me quite excitedly. Hello, dear fellow. And he tipped his hat and he smiled invitingly. Who knows why you felt this, but I felt like someone lit a fire in me. And I felt my stomach churning, I turned and I tried to find the word inconcerned, and the feeling disconcerting. It's strange, but I felt this weird yearning, a craving for something.
Oh yeah, and first of all, I like the vocal layers here and the melodic interest with the percussion, and then he abandons into one of those screams again there. It's the same technique as God earlier, where he's imposing an artificial limit and pushing himself to that limit and getting that sound.
Like someone lit a fire in me. And I felt my stomach churning, I turned and I tried to find the word inconcerned, and the feeling disconcerting. It's strange, but I felt this weird yearning, a craving for something that was turned, and the feeling disconcerting. It's strange, but I felt this weird yearning, a craving for something inconcerned, and the feeling disconcerting. It's strange, but I felt this weird yearning, a craving for
weird yearning, weird yearning. So what I did there, weird yearning. It's not really the note, but again, I'm fixing my limit there. Weird yearning, weird yearning, yearning, weird, weird, weird yearning.
Something that was urging me over, and then they start conversing.
This of a conversing. Oh man, there's so many cool things going on here. Well done, guys.
Weird yearning, a craving for something that was urging me over, and then they start conversing. I reached out my hand, he shook it during. He leaned in and said something disturbing. All I gotta know is your desires.
Webby.
Is it fame or fortune you aspire to get about this life that you've been living? Follow me, I'll walk you through the fire. I got every type of flavoring. You should see the budget of the catering. I don't wanna come off as a salesman, but I got the taste that you've been savoring.
I got the taste that you've been savoring. Na. Up there, very. I mean, it's all very tight, right?
Follow me, I'll walk you through the fire. I got every type of flavoring. You should see the budget of the catering. I don't wanna come off as a
beautiful dancing between harmony and like incidental unisons in there.
Salesman, but I got the taste that you've been savoring. Let your pain go, let the flames grow. I'll read every thought that's on your mind, cause I know you got.
There's some soulful guitar coming in there.
Let your pain go, let the flames grow. I'll read every thought that's on your mind, cause I know you got a name, so why don't you just write it on this line?
Oh, yeah.
I got a pen and everything. Who needs a wedding ring? I offer the divine. I don't think you fully understand, but I promise that you will in time, so just make a choice.
Will in time. So this, in a different voice, is the same technique that Ren is using on the less abandoned sounding distortions, where we take a note and we lift something heavy. We add compression. We add compression over that note. Okay. Webby also has this very masky, nasally kind of crowed low chest sound.
Write it on this line. Here I got a pen and everything.
Here I got a pen and everything. Now, if you sigh, if you use the sigh technique over this posture low like this, it's actually sort of a fun way to feel out Tuvan throat singing. Hear that dual tone thing that's happening. So
the wedding ring, I offer the divine. I don't think you fully understand, but I promise that you will in time, so just make a choice.
Choice.
So I stood frozen at the crossroads of time.
Okay, listen to this line.
And I promise that you will in time, so just make a choice. So I stood frozen.
So he is doing a lot of what I was referring to Ado, does, where he's sighing, he's chirping, he's sighing into every single note here, every single word.
Promise that you will in time, so just make a choice. So I stood frozen.
So I stood frozen. So I stood frozen. So I stood frozen. This connection between your head voice and your chest voice and that little area in between is what is a beautiful area to find all sorts of distortions, light and heavy. And by being connected to that area, you get this amazing sound. He's almost doing like a vocal exercise here where he's engaging his head voice a lot on the beginning. It's like a yodel almost, but he's keeping the melody intact. Again, you want to find distortions? You want to find cool sounds? Practice this kind of thing.
At the crossroads of time.
Right there.
Took hold of his paper.
Paper!
And I leant down to sign. Down the road. Down the road. Down the road.
Yeah, there's definitely something synthetic about that choir. I mean, it's really awesome, but you never know these days.
I still remember.
Going down from, or up from Fry. Nasal. Still. Cool.
I still remember back where I was from. See, I was the favorite.
Horns.
The morning sun. See, I had ideas, but they said they're too
Grand. I like the gang vocals there.
Yes, but they said they're too grand. So they casted me out without reason to doubt. Now there's blood on my hands.
This is kind of cool. Like this fallen angel soul, selling your soul to the devil for this kind of music, with the soulful guitar earlier. They're really doing some neat tie-ins, like cross-genre tie-ins here. That Robert Johnson Crossroads thing with a little bit of hip-hop. It's awesome.
In a doubt, now there's blood on my hands. See, I've been
That's a very similar technique to what we heard Ren do on Animal Flow with this pure false chord engagement there. And this is also accessible by sighing. But what Ren does on Animal Flow and what we hear Webby doing here is sort of abandoning out of primary chord engagement. And there's a little bit of Cookie Monster, a little bit of epiglottal rattle going on there. All sorts of nerdy stuff with the vocals. And it's so neat how this is all being tied together.
So they casted me out without reason to doubt. Now there's blood on my hands. See, I've been that one with the silver tongue. Yeah, they say I'm falling, but never run, following the calling. I've been all in with the barrel of a loaded gun, aimed at the masses, at their masses. Yeah, the darkness gon' get you. You can say a prayer if it helps you. That cross won't protect you from the light, bringing lost angel. Shit, I only came to entertain you, but since we made ourselves a deal, you gon' be my fucking puppet till it breaks you.
Yeah, there's the made myself the deal with the.
That cross won't protect you from the light, bringing lost angel. Shit, I only came to entertain you, but since we made ourselves a deal, you gon' be my fucking puppet till it breaks you. I'ma chain you to the ground, I'll enslave you. Look around, ain't no.
Look around, round. There's that sort of lower place compression.
Somebody coming here to save you. I'ma take you way down.
Take you way down. Yeah, there's also that octave lower thing. Is that Gritty?
Look around, ain't nobody coming here to save you. I'ma take.
Ain't nobody coming here to save you. Hey, save you, save you, save you, save you, save. All sorts of cool layers.
I'll enslave you. Look around, ain't nobody coming here to save you. I'ma take you way down. Cause yeah, I know I've been around.
To take you way down. Super soul.
But still I got some shit to prove, and I don't really give a fuck how it's gotta happen, but just know that you gotta fucking deal with the devil written. So shut up and listen to play me some blues, and just know the choice that you made today will be the last thing that you ever choose.
Okay, gotta talk about some things here. That definitely sounds like Ren playing with the weight and the effort behind it, which I love. I love that about his playing.
So shut up and listen to play me some blues, and just know the choice that you made today will be the last thing that you ever choose.
So many cool harmonies.
Today will be the last thing that you ever choose.
Oh, the bend with the vibrato and the bends that are slightly different speeds, so there's this dissonance, and the vibratos are not timed. I mean, there's in the world of things are so perfect and curated, and this is there's a rawness to this. There's certainly a rehearsedness to it, but there's a rawness to it that I love, and a weight. Listen. Like that, he's picking hard. This isn't an effortless, like perfect technique thing. This is like really leaning in and effort. We hear that same sort of effort in his singing, right? That's what gave soul and blues its thing, is it wasn't like these guys with perfect technique that could shred around. It was like the notes have weight, the phrases have weight. He's behind the beat a little bit. He's not pushing the beat, which only adds to the weight. Nice whammy bar thing there. Now this is interesting here. Those converging lines and this whole theme of, like, you know, the whole selling your soul to the devil to play guitar, which is, you know, Crossroads, Robert Johnson, that whole thing, I mentioned it earlier, and how this video is nodding to that, and the music is nodding to that. There's some really strange intervals going on there because of the counter melody. This one's coming from low, one's coming from high, which is represented in the video. ends on that minor third, but then we've got some augmented and diminished things going on. In the old church, the tritone was actually not allowed. Like that's an evil demonic interval. Stick to perfect intervals, perfect fourths and fifths, not augmented or diminished intervals. And this is brilliant, tying in different themes, different genres, mind blown, and the subtlety of some of this stuff too. Absolutely awesome. I think, just given my passions and influences and interests as an artist and fan of music, this may be the favorite thing that Ren has put out. And that's saying a lot. Again, if you would like help working with your own voice, if you would like help experimenting and working with your own voice more, click that link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course. And here is a growing list of Ren analysis videos that I have done over the years now. So cool. We'll see you for more.